Before we start framing the problem, we must ask ourselves key questions, like: whose problem is it? Why is the situation perceived as a problem? These and related questions help us accurately demarcate the periphery of the problem area. Having a clear perspective about who perceives the situation as a problem, and why, gives us insights into our own perspectives about the problem. The more insights we gather, the better we comprehend the problem as a whole. Questions like, what happens if the problem is left unsolved? May seem irrelevant, or downright stupid, but these, and other such questions, help us step out of the box and rethink about the problem. What we ask ourselves here is, do we agree and accept these perspectives? Which of these perspectives do we agree with, and with which we don't? Why? Our answers to these questions are key for accurately framing our problem. After defining the perimeter, we turn our attention towards factors which fall inside the perimeter. Every factor can be classified as direct factors, indirect factors, or tertiary factors. Think about a fire. A fire can start only when fuel, oxygen, and a spark, or a source of fire, come together and interact. Each is a necessary factor that contributes directly to the fire. If either one of the factors is missing, or if interaction between the factors is absent, the fire won't start. Therefore, the presence and interaction of each of the above factors is absolutely necessary for the occurrence of the fire. Likewise, within the perimeter of the problem, there could be several distinct factors. When certain key factors come together and interact, they are likely to produce a problem. Each of these factors can be thought of as necessary conditions, without which the problem won't occur. We identify them as direct factors. Individually they cause no harm, but together when they interact, they create problems. Indirect factors are those that support or influence the problem in diverse ways, but do not cause it. In our example of the fire, the presence of a strong wind, or hot and dry weather, will help the fire grow, and also spread. But, if any one of the direct factors is absent, then by themselves, these conditions cannot start the fire. Similarly, within the perimeter of the problem area, we may find conditions that neither cause the problem, nor are a part of the problem. We can think of them as indirect factors. The third category is tertiary factors. These are factors which surround the problem, but neither cause nor influence them in any way in the immediate period. In our example of the fire, the presence of metal or other such items in the vicinity of the fire neither cause the fire nor influence it. But, if they are not paid attention to when tackling the fire, can cause injuries later. Likewise, we may notice factors lying within the problem perimeter. But, within the given circumstances, they neither cause the problem nor influence them in any way. However, these factors can later emerge as causes of future problems. We identify them as tertiary factors. The reframing process helps us build distinct insights and better understanding about the problem. It comprises of 5 key steps. Step 1: take their perspective. Here our objective is to visualize the problem from another stakeholder's perspective. Does the person, or other people, look at the problem exactly the way I see it? Or do they see it differently? If they see it differently, then why is that so? Is our problem somebody else's solution? Conversely, will our solution be somebody else's problem? The answers we get here help us build a broader and more robust understanding of the problem we are dealing with. Our responses help us capture the importance that each stakeholder gives to the problem. Thus, we are able to arrange each factor within the problem perimeter in order of their importance. Step 2. Look outside the frame. Here, we actively try to notice and understand factors which are not easily or immediately visible. Questions like: are we missing something? What are we likely to miss while we attempt to understand the problem? What are others missing? Why? Answers to these questions do not come easy. It is particularly important that we suspend our assumptions, beliefs, and dominant mental models before we take a fresh look at the problem. Our responses here help us identify and differentiate between direct and indirect factors. Step 3. Rethink the goal. In our attempt to solve the problem, we often focus on arriving at quick and easy to implement solutions. This may lead us to lose sight of long-term consequences, which eventually might prove our problem-solving efforts counterproductive. Questions like: is there a better objective? Is there a better problem to solve? Is today's solution tomorrow's problem? Help us adopt more holistic approaches to our problem and ensure that the solutions we produce do not morph into bigger problems later. Our response to these questions also helps us clearly identify the tertiary factors lying inside the problem perimeter. Step 4. Examine the bright spots. Bright spots refer to factors which, in spite of lying inside the problem perimeter, can yield win-win solutions for all stakeholders. The objective is to list down all factors inside the problem perimeter in order of importance and priority from the perspective of each stakeholder. We then look for factors which rank low across all perspectives. Here, we are effectively asking, what is not a problem for any stakeholder? While these factors are most likely to be tertiary in nature, it is quite possible that all, or most stakeholders, including us, missing them. Therefore, in step 4, it is key that we remain alert and flexible in our approach towards understanding of the situation. And, if required, we should be prepared to restart the process again from step 2. Step 5. Look into the mirror. The last, but possibly the most important, of all 5 steps, is figuring out our own role in the problem-solving process. Looking into the mirror means observing the problem from an objective and bias-free standpoint. Often, the way we interpret factors or situations contributes significantly to how the problem is experienced, articulated, and dealt with. What is my role in creating the problem? Am I observing a problem, or anticipating it? Questions like these can give us powerful insights, and can even alter our approach to the problem.